I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
I was muted. Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one Chief Rockin' Knicks University, main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premier Knicks in the Morning Time show, the Knicks Morning Drive. We are here to talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Before we get started, man, I want to play a joint by my main man, Jay Boogie. I just want to play a joint, man. Just I want to get Jay Boogie to get us off on the right foot. Let me see if I can. Bam, there we go.
Jay Boogie, we facing a lot of doubters.
So Ebony, First Lady of KOT, what you saying?
It's us against the world.
New York City, where you at?
We outside.
My Knicks fans, where you at? I'm looking down cause we on top. They looking up, see we on top.
No
On game nights, all I see is Nick traffic. For the playoffs, I'm wearing a June jacket. The best fans anywhere, we stay rocking. This is my 4-point play, my Larry Johnson. The true definition of getting snubbed is when the 2 seed ain't getting no love. We know the cats from college known as teammates. Now the lead podcast and we some roommates. It's for the league, whoever wanna collide. That new commercial that told you I'm the vibe. Shout out to Mr. Rose, the plan working from the ESPN with these bars. I'm Kendrick Perkins. Every game, the squad, we just go hard. Coach Tibb, Challenger, New Dodge. 5 boroughs of breath, the Nick plan. From the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Staten, to Brooklyn.
New York City, where you at?
We outside.
My Knicks fans, where you at? I'm looking down cause we on top. They looking up, see we on top.
No diddy.
Yo, E, you crazy for that.
Bam. Cowboy Bob is in the building. Everybody salute the Cowboy Bob.
Good morning, good morning
Everybody
to
in the
all.
chat. Good morning, Cowboy Bob. Just real quick before we start rocking, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to have your comment read, just put the freezy emoji in front of your comment, and that way Cowboy Bob and I can recognize it and read your comment on the screen, so that we know that y'all will be referring to us. Cowboy Bob, what's good, bro?
Man, good morning. I'm happy. Game time tonight. Let's go.
Let's go.
We going to Philly, the place of brotherly love. Everyone says it's brotherly love, but the only love we get as Knicks fans is the violence. So we gonna have to play real.
Yeah. We got to keep it. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, man. How you feeling? You nervous?
Yes, very nervous because all the Sixers calling that they want to go ahead and have they're gonna try to argue with the refs. They're filing a petition, and to me it's all for show, and it's just gonna water down the actual playoffs of good basketball. I think this is the best series in the playoffs because it's back and forth, even with Embiid being injured and we missing Randall. It's very entertaining. It's always down to the fourth quarter, last 5 minutes. So yeah. I'm just scared that they're gonna put it in favor of the Sixers rather than letting them play.
Right.
Like when Embiid got injured, his 3 seconds. My man's even said it. One of my friends, he was mentioning it. Embiid was getting 3 seconds on offense, but they wasn't calling it because he couldn't move.
Right.
So, like, if you're not gonna call that, but then get mad about the foul at the end, to me, it's like, what are we doing? We either let them play or we gonna call every single call.
Right. No doubt. Right. No doubt. Well, so salute to Illmatics. Illmatics, that's my brother. It's good to see you, brother. Travel Vibes is in the building. That's our guy. Salute Travel Vibes. Appreciate all the help you've been providing us over the last few months and all that stuff. For sure. You know you our guy. Hewlett Samuel is in the building. Rocking with us early this morning. Jerry Fitzy is in the building. Salute. Jerry Fitz letting us know. He said Sixers fans are crying more than the mothers. Bro, what do you know about Sophie's Choice? The whole comment is hilarious to me. The Sixers and the fans are crying, right? That's funny. More than the mother, that's funny. In Sophie's Choice. Bro, what do you know about Sophie's Choice, man? Yo. Salute to my man, Jerry Fitz. Salute Fitzy was good, man. D nice is in the building. So what you wanna do, brother? How you wanna parse this? You wanna break down, you wanna do a pregame review of what to expect, or should we break down what has already happened? How you feeling this morning? Which one you want, the chicken or the egg? You want chicken tenders? You want wings, or you want omelet? Which one you want?
It's morning time. Most times I go omelet, but I'm gonna go with the chicken wings because we
go with some wings, and so we'll go with the stuff that already happened.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the stuff that already happened, right? Mm-hmm. So the Knicks beat the Sixers in 2 very close games at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Right.
We did.
Do you have anything in particular you want to point out about how we beat the Sixers?
We beat the Sixers because we have a better bench than they do. Josh Hart stepped up. Everyone saying Josh Hart is the guy with doing his minutes. McBride stepping up, both hitting his shots, even though he hasn't been playing well all throughout the game. He's hitting his shots when needed, like a vet's supposed to do. So us relying on our bench and our secondary guys is why we are beating Philly, because outside of Philly's top 5, Larry, Baton, Embiid, Maxey, and what's his name? Kelly Oubre, like outside of them, they really don't have nobody outside of those 6. So we're relying on our 8 and we're doing well. But what we haven't seen yet, and is the emergence of Brunson. I want to see Brunson go off. That's what I want to see. But that's how we're winning. And then most people don't even realize that Brunson's worst games is against Philly this whole season. I think Philly, 4 times we played, like 6 times we played him, he's had under 35% as far as shooting, even when we had Randall. So for me, it's like Brunson this is the beginning to where we can make a good run. Brunson learns how to be the Brunson burner, the bandit that we know him. With this defense and improves the next 2 games, we have a chance to go all the way to the finals. So we rely on our bench. We rely on our captain. Even though he's down, our bench supported him. But now we need our captain to step up.
Right. So what will have to happen in order for Brunson to step his game all the way up?
He honestly would have to start off passing and being the second option offensively. If he's going to control the ball, use Hartenstein, use Hart, use Dante, drive, kick out, get them guys involved with their open looks, because they're collapsing on Brunson. 3-4 guys after he crosses the first guy, gets to the lane. 2 guys are jumping in front of him and a guy behind him. He has the vision. He kicks out, gets them started in the first quarter. It's going to be a problem.
Okay. So I'm thinking too along the lines that you are along the lines of kind of take what the defense gives you, don't force it.
Yes.
And I'm kind of in that mindset too, where if the shots are not there for Jalen Brunson, be excited to get others involved. Kind of like the conversation that Cowboy Bob and I had before we turned the mics on. It's about the excitement of getting others involved and trusting other people's talents as well. Right. So we had a conversation like that before we even turned the mics on, which is ironic. So yeah, I see where you're going with it. I do believe that Jalen Brunson is talented enough to get others involved, right? And take the shots that are there. But at the same time, when you're a lethal weapon like Jalen Brunson and you're solely focused on just going and getting yours, it can be kind of difficult at times to understand that. Like understand when to go and when to pass the ball.
Agreed.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man.
I honestly think though, after what he said, he's gonna bring something new to the table. Because the last interview, when all three of them were there, he said, "Yeah, they've been slowing me down, but I got something for them." That right there, that's dangerous. Because Brunson has a tendency, like you said, he has the laser vision. But if he does what I think he's gonna do, with he drops 30, I think he could drop 30 tonight, 10 assists, and probably like 4 boards, and
Yeah.
maybe a steal or two. I just
Right.
don't want him to get into that charging battle. That's the thing that's scaring me, because they're gonna start calling offensive fouls on him. I mean, yeah, defensive fouls on him.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 I think you know, and as far as the past games go, I think we figured out what they want to do, and we've neutralized it, and you can tell. Now, does that mean basically what we did was we picked our poison? We picked our poison, right? We
Mm-hmm.
decided to let Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey kill us, as opposed to the entire Philadelphia Sixers roster kill us.
Yep.
I think we picked our poison. I think we picked a path. We picked our path, and we're just gonna go with that. So I'm excited about that though, because it's got us to a point where we're up 2 games to nothing.
We're showing confidence, like real team confidence early, and that's gonna be hard to break.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's based on the last 2 games, you can tell the Knicks are aggressively on the boards. And though it may not show it in the rebounding battle overall,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think we're in a spot where you can tell the Knicks are intent on hitting the glass. You know,
That's
I think that's I think that may be where we are, bro. Like we're intent on being physical.
I agree. That's what it was all season, actually, because that's how we were winning offensive boards. We're the number one team offensively, so stick to what we know.
Yeah, yeah. Let me. How about this? Let me ask this: is there anything in games 1 and 2 you feel like we should clean up going forward?
The cleanup, yes. I think that the cleanups that we need to do is attack the paint more. Like, because we would get to the basket, miss shots. We would get to our spots, miss easy shots. And it's not just Brunson, it's also McBride. Well, McBride, he's done his little thing, but we'll miss opportunities when we have the open shot. Like, for example, you can see where a man is open when they get the ball. They would rather pass it to Dante, or they would rather pass it to Brunson, where they need to start cleaning that up like we did earlier. Attack the rim, keep getting those second chance opportunities.
Right, right.
Be more aggressive.
Be more aggressive. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah, because if you look at Boston last night, This is what I've been trying to avoid. I know we have good 3-point shooters, but I don't want to end up like Golden State or Boston or any other team that relies on the three ball. That's not us. Let's stick to the physicality, stick to the down low game.
Right.
That's our bread and butter. Plus we get him beat in foul trouble, get him 2, 3, 4 fouls real quick. Come on, man. We good.
Right. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's a few things we can clean up. Right. Are attacking the paint, like you said, when the attacks are there. Right. Like attack when the attacks are there. Right. That's one thing I think we could clean up. Right. And what I'm talking about is off the dribble, get in the paint, make Joel Embiid move his feet. Because we know Joel Embiid is a statue right now. Right. So we should attack Joel Embiid, make him move his feet, draw Joel Embiid away from the rim, and have Tobias Harris as their rim protection. That's what we want. Right. Because in the grand scheme of things, Tobias Harris is a big dude, but he's not the rim deterrent that Joel Embiid is. Right? That's one of the things that I think we should probably look at. Attacking, getting gravity in the paint, even if that means not Precious Achiuwa, but OG Anunoby slashing in behind Joel Embiid and attacking the rim and sending OG Anunoby to the free throw line numerous times. I think what that does is it generates gravity at all three layers, and now you can't just sell out to defend Jalen Brunson.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Gotta make them work for them points, bro. Gotta work for it. They think this the NBA.
Yeah. No doubt. My other thing too is in the one thing that we should probably clean up or consider is the non-Joel Embiid minutes. When Joel Embiid is not on the floor, right? I think we should attack Paul Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking. In those non-Sixers minutes, we have to put the pedal to the metal and not run up and down the floor, but make your baskets count.
Mm-hmm.
We need a super high field goal percentage when Joel Embiid is not on the floor.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The same way Maxey did when in the third quarter when we had the lead, and he was just explosive to the rack, quick points, and we were just like, how is he doing this? He made like 8 straight points. We need to do that on the other side. That's why we got McBride. That's why we got Dante. Use those guys more when he's off the court because the rebounding is going to go down for Philly. Let's start hitting the 3-ball. Let's start doing that. Let's start taking those jumpers, pulling them out, and getting double shots. I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. I think one thing we did a fantastic job of is making Philly pay when they don't guard our open shooters. Our open shooters have been knocking down shots at a relatively efficient clip.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that is been kind of rocking with us. Yes, I think that's one of the things that we did well.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight in Philly, I think we'll probably have to continue to do that. Nick Nurse is going to make an adjustment, right? Maybe he'll start Tyrese Maxey on Jalen Brunson and then bring help, as opposed to starting off with their best defender. That basically what they did, what we did to them is what they did to us. Basically, OG Anunoby starting off on Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre starting off on Jalen Brunson. basically. It's basically mirror images. Start the bigger defender off on the smaller guard and make him work crazy in order to, get his own shots and things off. And Tyrese Maxey has been able to score, what I'm saying, because of his athleticism, because of his speed. And Jalen Brunson is still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. That's what happens when you play a physical game. Brunson, like I said, Brunson attacking the paint. He'll have a back defender on him still reaching over. And as he's pulling up, the guy's arm is on his shoulder and they're not calling it. Yeah. A lot of those misses, those close range misses, people are saying that he normally makes all season. It's because of that. You could even see when he gets by them and he's wide open, they kind of push him in, like push him away from the spot. Like, and I actually seen Batum go like this to his back when he was posting up. I'm like, I thought that was illegal.
I thought
Exactly. It's supposed to be chest to back. You're supposed to give him the spacing. And another thing, when he drives, the defense collapse. They don't give him the spacing like they do to other players. Like for us, if you look at back in the day when Iverson and all of them, they collapse the defense the same way they do on Brunson now. But in today's game, you're supposed to allow him to get by you and give you the spacing. So Brunson's learning that in the playoffs, being the number one option, they're gonna attack you. And the way he is, he doesn't back down from any challenge. So, beware of tonight, guys.
I think tonight is do or die for both teams.
Yes,
no lie. I think tonight is do or die for both teams. The reason why I say that is because I honestly, I've been watching basketball for so long. I know when you give a team like Philadelphia, Philadelphia believes in themselves, right? And if you give them if you give them any room to bounce back, they'll be like the Undertaker getting up off the mat.
Oh,
right?
Yup.
And you don't want to do that, right? With a team like Philadelphia, you legit want to put them out of their misery, right? And I'll give an example. I'll give a recent one, right? The Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics last night in Boston, right? And so that series went from, Boston's going to run through the Eastern Conference, Boston's guaranteed to be in the Eastern Conference, to now Miami feels like they can knock off the Celtics. And now people are doubting the Celtics, right? The Celtics fully healthy, right? The Celtics fully healthy lost to Miami, who had Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier out. Not only did David beat Goliath, David beat Goliath without a slingshot last night, right? For people that know the reference, right? For people that understand the reference, right? David beat Goliath last night without a slingshot, right? With no weapon, right? So now if you're Goliath, of course you're shaken. If you're Boston, of course you're shaken, right? And if you're David, of course you have super confidence now. And so if you're the Knicks and you watch the Celtics lose last night, do you really want to give a lower seed any confidence? No. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm coaching this game 3 as if it's a game 7. Right? I'm coaching this game 3 as if it's a game 7. Right? And I know what people are going to say. Well, Uncle Freezy, I predicted the Knicks in 5 or the Knicks in 6. I don't care what you predicted. The strategy should be for our Knicks to go out and play your very best basketball. Don't go out there playing 80% thinking all you need is 2 more wins. No, you can't live like that. That's the reason why teams like the Knicks haven't won championships since 1973. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You give a team, you breathe life into it. The team legit is one, and basically on that thin line of they can go either way. They're on the cliff, right? Push them off. Don't let them drop.
Yeah.
Push off the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's one of those things as a championship contending team, as a championship team, you have to be in the mindset that you want to win more than other teams want to lose, right?
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, you want to win more than other teams don't want to lose, right? This Sixers team, they're cooked. Their best player is hurt. They're down 0-2. They're going back home. In the last 6 games against the Knicks, you're 1-5. The Sixers in the last 6 games have won one game against the Knicks. With them being healthy, when them not healthy, us with OG Anunoby, us without OG Anunoby, regardless of whatever, the last 6 times these teams played, the Sixers have only won once.
Mhm.
Once. And so if you take the approach that yeah, it's a 7 game series, it's a listen, I understand that the conventional thinking is just a 7 game series, and if you're a Knicks fan, that's how you're thinking. That's why we don't have championships. The name of the series is the first team to 4 wins wins the series. Right? That's the way you got to approach it. The
Mhm.
first team to 4 wins the series. Right? It can't be like, yeah, we can let our foot off the gas in Philly and then let them win their 2 in Philly, and then we'll come back and win our 2 in the Garden. No, you can't do that.
That sounds like last year. What happened last year when people were talking like that? Oh, the Knicks can win in Game 6, because we're in Madison Square Garden. You can't rely on that.
Right. That's what happened to us against Miami. We took Miami, in my opinion, we took Miami light because we throttled Cleveland in the first round, and then Miami came in there and rocked the boat. We like, oh, we knocked off Cleveland. Cleveland was the higher seed. Miami, they're the lower seed. We'll just go in there and throw our jersey on the floor. Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to go out there and put these teams away in the playoffs. You got to put them away. The approach should not be, hey man, Knicks in 6. Nah, no. The approach for the Knicks has to be the Knicks in 3.5. Make them quit.
Like we did with Boston. Yup.
Yeah, you gotta impose your will on these teams. These teams that are in the playoffs, they're good. They're in the playoffs for a reason. It's not the Charlotte Hornets we're playing. We're playing against the reigning league MVP.
And another thing, real quick, what most people don't realize is you push Philly the wrong way, they could soar and end up winning the next 4 games. We don't want that. Every game should be a step on their throat. We got to get to them because if another team comes back, we've seen it last year, even with Philly, they had a 3-2 lead and lost to Boston. We don't want that scenario. Every game should be more than a game 7. It should be, to me, this is it. Either you make or break because Philly winning 2 games in Philly, that's enough energy for them to come back and win. We should not be thinking like that.
Yeah. Cowboy about let me can you imagine? Think about this. Think about this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. Think about the conversation you and I will be having 2 weeks from now when Philly beats the Knicks in a series 4 games to 2, and Philly advances to play Indiana, and they beat Indiana in the second round, and then Philly beats whoever comes out of the Boston bracket, and Philly is in the Eastern Conference Finals or the second round or the NBA Finals just because the Knicks let their foot off the gas. Can you imagine the conversations we'll be having?
It'll be Randall all over again versus Atlanta. That's literally what it was, except for this time we won 2 games. And to me, what got us here, we can't use that excuse of injuries because we've been through that long time ago. We passed that. What got us here is good, but what we need to do is stay here. Change
Right.
up the game, change up the flow. It would be
Right.
a nightmare if they come back and win 4-2, man. Like, you don't understand, because then everyone would be like, oh, we could have won. And nah, I don't want to go back to those dark days, man.
Right.
Please don't even put that in the air.
Chat, can y'all imagine? Chat, can y'all imagine our conversation in 2 weeks? Can y'all imagine what our conversations are going to be like in May? Our conversations in May, what our conversations will be like in May. Man, we had them down 2-0, man. Tibbs let us down. Nah, we ain't blaming Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? We can start pointing the fingers at everybody, right?
Or
Man, Jalen Brunson didn't even, man, they locked down Jalen Brunson, man. Jalen Brunson, blah, blah, blah. Nah, we're up 2-0, and we need to go out there. We need to go out there and play this team as every game in the playoffs is like game 7. Every game is like game 7. You got to go out there and put teams away. You can't give these teams life. I heard somebody hit me up and was saying, I got the Knicks in 6. And I was like, and basically what I told them in no short order, if you think the NBA and the referees are going to let that series go 6 games without Joel Embiid getting the benefit of officiating, you are crazy. If you think that if this series goes 6 games, if you think the NBA is going to stand by and let Philly lose, you're bugging. If you think if this series goes 6 games that the national media is all of a sudden going to start liking the Knicks, you are bananas. This is like, no lie, even though we're the number 2 seed, we are fighting against teams as if we're the challenger. Let this thing go to the scorecards. And for all of y'all old school sports fans, it's a lot of y'all in here. And you know what I'm saying is right, even though I don't want to say it. Y'all know I'm right when I say this thing. We can't allow this thing to go 6 or 7 games thinking that our talent can beat another team. We already know that we're fighting uphill. The national media don't like us. The referee don't give us calls.
We're not the favorite of the series.
Yeah.
Even now, they still got Philly over us. I've been hearing people, oh, Philly's going to win the next 4 games. Don't worry about it. And Beat will figure it out. He'll drop 50. I'm like, he's one dude. How are they going to win? But
on a bum ankle.
Exactly. And that's another thing. That's even worse. If we were to
a bum
lose.
knee, I'm sorry. A bum knee. I'm sorry.
If we were to lose and he's half the man he was, oh, man, Philly fans are going to be on us, man. They're going to be like, oh, you couldn't beat us with half of an MB. Nah.
Right. Yeah.
And all the work we've done this season, getting 50 wins, fighting through all of this would be for nothing. Because at the end of the day, if we don't get past the second round, this is all for nothing. That should be the mentality. Next game, next round, that's it.
Yeah. So Mitchell Robinson is a game time decision, everybody.
We should.
Mitchell Robinson is a game time decision. Joel Embiid is a game time decision. DeAnthony Melton is a game time decision. Vegas has Philly favored by about 5 points. 5.5. Vegas had Philly by 5.5.
What is it, like 108 to to like 115? 114 or something like that?
Yeah, 5.5. So it'll probably be like 108 to 102, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And my thing is overall I'm not saying this because I think our fan base is a pretty smart fan base. And I think we're an emotional fan base also, which is not a bad thing. But my thing is if we think that the NBA is gonna let this series get to 6 or 7 games and think that Philly they're just gonna allow Philly just to roll over, bro. The league MVP gets calls.
Yep. I see him going to the line tonight at least 12 to 15 times. He's
At
home.
least. At
At
least.
least. And Maxie, I see Maxie 8 to 12. They're home. They're going to get every single call, every continuation, and we're going to be fighting an uphill battle. Best thing to do, step on their throats early in the first half, excuse me.
Right. 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 Yeah. 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 Mets is in the building. Bully is in the building. Chop Low, what's good, man? We see y'all.
Salute to the chat. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The thing is, ultimately, you know, you already see Vegas has Philly favored by 5.5 at home with Joel Embiid hurt. They're the 7 seed and we're the 2 seed. That tells you everything you need to know right there.
And watch Larry do something and he's gonna get away with it. Like all the stuff he's gonna do that's illegal, he'll get away with it. Because he's just as dirty as some of our, like he plays dirty. Not saying that it's not needed, but he has all the stuff in his antics are just not gonna happen. Are gonna happen, excuse me. You're gonna see him hitting people on the shoulder, you're gonna see him missing the ball, you're gonna drag someone down, they're not gonna call fouls, and he's gonna get away with it.
Right. Think about all the things that are stacked together. For the most part, the playoff roster is reasonably healthy. For the most part, right? For the most part, the playoff roster is reasonably healthy, right? For the most part, right? Joel Embiid is injured, and they're still predicting Philly at home. They're predicting Philly at home over the number 2 seed in the East. Right? My thing is, Cowboy Bob, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to hold you. My thing is, I understand how betting works for the most part. You know, you lure people in with a line, and the closer to game time, the more likely that line is to change with more information coming out. Right? Right. The more likely things are to change. Right. But my thing is, ultimately, if you're Tibbs, and I know Tibbs will be in this mindset. Tonight's a game 7.
I think Tibbs with this game 7, use your bench. Mitch is down, use Sims, use Precious. Just hit it, like throw the kitchen sink at them, man. Because I'm telling you, we're gonna need that bench tonight.
Right. Yeah.
With all of that being said, I still don't understand how most people think that it's that easy to just walk into Philly and win. It's not. You got to understand how the fans are. You got to understand how everything in there it feels different. You come from a housewarming, nice presence to a street fight. Like you're coming from inside the house to outside. It's going to be a dogfight. Watch Larry. Watch how they play. I want Tibbs to use what we've been doing all season. Sims, Precious, get those guys involved in minutes. Just to box out, help out with rebounding. I'm not saying they got to play more than 5 minutes, but
I think that's what we want, though, right? We want the physicality. We embrace the physicality, right? That's what we want.
I love it.
That's what's good, bro.
Sure. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, guys. I'm gonna be
man. So that's what we want. We want to like embrace this tactic of if they want to be physical, hey, that's playing into our hands, right? The only thing about it is don't initiate the physicality and then start complaining to the refs that the game has gotten too physical, right? We don't want to. To me, that's like throwing a rock and hiding your hand. And I think that's what Philly has been doing. They've been super physical with Jalen Brunson, bumping him around, getting him off his spots. His shot has been off. We hadn't complained about the physicality on Jalen Brunson All we've been saying as fans is that Jalen Brunson's shot is off. That's
Right.
what we're saying. Philly is complaining like Mets. The rebound Hartenstein got with surrounded by 4 Sixers.
Uh-huh.
You remember when he was looking for somebody to pass the ball to, and they were raking him across his arms, and he kicked it out to OG Anunoby?
Uh-huh.
We didn't complain about that.
And yet you hear the Sixers complaining about on the miss on the first Dante rebound. They were calling for timeout. They didn't get it because Maxey was on the floor and didn't have full control of the ball. That's on them, not us.
Right.
And yet they think they're going to get every call tonight. I mean, I'm going to be blunt. Not only am I going to be distracted by this game, we're also distracted because tonight is the first night of the NFL draft.
Right.
So who knows how things will play out? I mean, will it be good for the Knicks? I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, Brunson needs to stay focused. He's been basically thrown off by this bracket defense the Sixers have been throwing at him, putting Maxey on him constantly, and he can't get away from him switching to either Lowry or switching from Hield or Lowry to Maxey because he thinks he can block him better when he's been having a tough time doing it. When Maxey's been blowing by him. You get what I'm saying, Freezy?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the same thing we have been saying for a while, that the Knicks are being played physically, and we're not complaining. We're embracing it. Yet the Sixers on offense are complaining about physicality when they're just as physical on defense towards Brunson and others. The thing is cry me a river. I don't care from a sport. If I were not a Knicks fan, I would say that the Sixers are crybabies.
True.
But the fact that I have a vested interest, an emotional interest, right, a rooting interest, and just because the Knicks are here, only highlights the fact that this team, in my opinion, is soft.
They've been soft for years. I mean, what do you blame for this? Personally, I blame it on Doc for softening them up so badly. Sure, Nurse has tried to harden them up, but at this point, he's been doing a little more than damage control.
Right. Well. Here's the thing. I asked Cowboy Bob which topic he wanted to talk about. Did he want to do a review of the previous games, or did he want to do a evaluation of tonight's game? And in that chicken or the egg scenario, he picked the chicken, right? The existing issues. So we did that. Now I want to move on to the egg part. I want to move on to the egg. Like, what do the Knicks have to do in order to win tonight's game? And Cowboy Bob, in your opinion, what do the Knicks have to do?
Rely on each other. Get down. Rely on one another like we've been doing. Be supportive, because even when you brought up the Hartenstein kicking it out to OG, he could have shot that shot. Or Hartenstein could have went back up. But they relied and trusted in Dante because they knew the rotation would be different. Rely on one another. Keep up with what we've been doing. But at the same time, pay attention to what's going on in the game. There's going to be a lot of jaw jacking and a lot of fouls that's going to go their way. Don't let that affect your game.
Got that right.
And Brunson doesn't need to step up. He's fine. Brunson's doing him contributing 20 to 30 points a game doesn't matter. He's still contributing, because if he's giving you 22, that means he's still attacking. He's just off. So imagine if you tell him to stop attacking or tell him to switch it up. No, let him rock. He doesn't need to step up. His contributions help us out regardless of.
He should just be playing good basketball. Jalen Brunson just play great basketball.
Yes.
That's what you need to do, Jalen Brunson. Just continue to just play great basketball. Like, Jalen Brunson doesn't have to score 40 a game, even though we know it's possible, right? It's possible, right? But the Knicks need to focus on winning game 3, however we get there. It don't matter if he scores 19 and has 13 assists, or if he scores 40 and has 4 assists. As long as the Knicks win and every Knick comes out of that game healthy, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
That's all that matters to me. Now, with that said, how do we get to that point where Jalen Brunson plays great basketball? That's the question I have for Cowboy Bob and for Mets. What does Jalen Brunson have to do to this Nick Nurse exotic defense in order to initiate great basketball from himself and include others and make them better?
Go ahead, man.
Basically, roll with the hits. I mean, sure, he hasn't been complaining as much as he was during that stretch where the Knicks were on a losing streak where he was constantly getting hit and he was whining and moaning and bitching about it. Pardon my mouth, but get the point. But the point is, he needs to know when he's going to get hit and dodge it. Either dodge it or just instead of flat out taking it, or just take the hit.
Okay.
I honestly think he needs to be aware of his second options. When he's driving to the basket, there should be a cutter at all times to allow him the floater for alley, because we all know Hartenstein loves alley. Same thing with Mitch. But to help out Brunson, we should have a cutter coming in to grab the rebounds and kick it back out to him. Keep him happy by keeping him involved. But I don't want him to get hurt, because that's the thing. I don't want his pride or anything to get hurt. Dang, first quarter, 17 points. Wow. Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. But
yeah,
that's crazy.
But yeah, bro, you on the live stream talking to Mets and you reading the chat. So the instruction for the chat. So if the chat is talking to us, they're gonna put the emoji next to everything. That way we can know that the chat is talking to us specifically. Because sometimes the chat is talking to each other.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so yeah, the chat they'll be responding to each other, you know.
And so to go back to Brunson, if he has that cutter, I think that's perfect, because now the defense has to start attacking that open spot. And in that spacing of him getting the cutter, it'll allow them to fall back and he can get an easier shot. Because Batum can't stay on him. They keep putting Batum and Kelly Oubre. Once he gets past that three-point line, it's all him. He could go left, he could go right, but we need that cutter so he could see, okay, I can hit it off glass if we miss. Josh Hart cut underneath and can tap that in. And he can see the angle, because that's where I see him best at.
Okay.
Same here.
Hey, what I'm gonna say to the Jalen Brunson Jalen Brunson, good game, Brunson. What I'm gonna say is for one, don't turn the ball over. Right? That's what we don't want to. We don't want to turn the ball over and give them live ball turnovers where they can go down and get fast break dunks and stuff at the other end without working in the half court. And if you remember, Joel Embiid got a fast break dunk in game 2. And if you saw Joel Embiid run, there's no way Joel Embiid should be getting a fast break dunk.
Especially
that man is immobile.
Especially with how bad that leg has been busted up.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yes.
So limit turnovers, right? Limit turn. The other thing too is don't force shots.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Take the shots that did. Hold on, Mets. Let me finish my point. I got. Unless you go ahead. No, go ahead, Mets. Go ahead.
Add on to that point. I think where you were getting at.
Yeah,
where Brunson's been basically shucking it up like crazy. That's the old hero ball trope, and you don't do that. It kills momentum.
Right. What else you got?
That was the point. That was just I just guess that was the point you were trying to get to with the shot shucking. And
I'm gonna get into the point. To mine, I have my own separate thoughts, man. I can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so the thing is, my other thing is don't force things that are not there. Is one of the points, and I want to break that down further, right? Philly can't stop Jalen Brunson from getting into the lane, right? But just because you get into the lane, the teeth of the defense, doesn't mean you have a shot at the rim. Now, if you have a shot if you get into the paint and the defense collapses, you don't have to shoot it over the top of that collapsed defense. You can kick it out to Bogey for 3, You can kick it out to Dante for 3, right? You can kick it out to Josh Hart for 3, or whatever. You don't have to force it just because Joel Embiid is injured and hobbled. If you get into the paint and the defense collapses, then we could cycle that ball around to an open shooter and make their defense work and move their feet.
So true.
Right. My other thing too is Jalen Brunson's defense hasn't been bad. It's actually, I think it's been pretty okay. Right. And I think it's been pretty okay. So what I would ask Jalen Brunson to do defensively is to keep up the defensive effort on their role players, because Jalen Brunson is not going to guard Tyrese Maxey. We don't want that. Right. Just like they don't want Tyrese Maxey guarding Jalen Brunson. They don't want that either. Right. Because both guards will explode for a ton of points. Right. So what we would like to do is have our role players, Bogey, whose defense is much improved, Brunson's defense has been much improved. What we want to do is have those guys continue to shut down role players, because historically, role players play great at home and bad on the road, right? And so our role players have played great at home, and now they are on the road. Conversely, Philly's role players played bad on the road, and now game 3 they'll be at home, right? True. So what we want to do is make sure we continue to take their role players out of the equation, and how we do that is with consistent, nonstop pressure for 48 minutes, not allowing a third or fourth sixer to catch fire to help Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey score.
What was Philly's home record this year?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
It was Philly's home record was.
So, but what's your point there? You got a point to it that we should discuss?
I was just asking as part of a comparison and contrast with the record setup.
Yeah, because
it was 25-16 at home for Philadelphia.
Okay. And so that was their record at home. And so their record would probably be, since they have 16 losses at home, I'm sure they have more than 20 losses on the road. But the point that I want to ask you about that is, do you really rely on that data, knowing that Joel Embiid missed a large majority of the season, or is this a different Philly team?
And when compared to recent years, in terms of it being weaker, yes.
Okay.
I was just gonna say the last time we lost was in Philly, when we lost to them, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly, if we beat them, if they've only won 1 out of 5 matches, that's an issue right there. It already shows that they have the home court advantage, because they didn't have Embiid in that game and they won. So we got to figure this out, because they have something there that we need to figure out.
That's true.
Right. I think it's going to come down in the first 2 games. I think both coaches know what the game plan is, what the game plan should be, games 3 through 7, if it goes that far. Right.
True.
If it goes that far, both coaches know what they want to do and what they need to stop. Right. But the thing is, though, it's going to be paramount that, again, that we shut down role players, right? If Maxey goes for 30 and Embiid goes for 30, we know we can beat them. You know how I know that to be true? We've already done it.
Twice.
Right. We already know that this is possible, right? Mm-hmm. The main thing that I would also consider, everybody, this is the thing that I would consider as the key to the Knicks beating. And when I say the key, I mean the absolute key to beating Philly tonight. Out rebounding them at home. Legit have to dominate the boards, right? Because if we get offensive rebounds and establish another possession, legit, that stops them from grabbing offense. That stops them from grabbing defensive rebounds and getting out on a fast break and getting points at the other end, getting easy transition points.
So you're basically saying we got to do tonight what essentially Miami did to Boston last night. Limit the scoring to just two guys. In last night's case for Boston, it was basically Brown and Tatum that carried the load, where everyone else was basically limited up until near the end of the game, and outboard them at any and all costs.
Yeah, basically that and Miami also. I watched the game last night. Miami was on fire from three.
Not to mention they had a very balanced scoring across the board with their front line.
Right.
Everyone contributed on the front line.
Right, because Boston did last night to Miami what Philly did to the Knicks, and both teams lost. Basically, what they said is, I'm going to shut down this one guy, and we're going to let these other guys beat us. And the other guys beat them. Salute to my man, Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie says, shout out to the chat. Much love to Knicks fans, family, blessings, health, and happiness. Big ups to the Chief Rocker and the panel. All I know is that we outside. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's, BEM. Salute to my man, Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie, we just played your new joint earlier, bro. You should have came through. Jay Boogie, you should have came through, bro. We just played the joint with him, he and Ebony earlier, right before we were getting started. So, yeah, but the thing is, I think that the thing is tonight, as long as we dominate the paint area, right? Points in the paint, defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, they won't be able to get out and get into odd man rushes or transition where they can get easy looks at the basket. We don't want, because the thing is, even though they're the 7 seed, we know they're not a conventional 7 seed, right? We know they're only the 7 seed because they had a rash of injuries that kind of derailed their season. And I'm not giving them a pass because we also had injuries and we're the 2 seed. But what I'm saying is that team was heliocentric around one guy, and that one guy went out, and then they had to readjust on the fly, right? In terms of us, we can't allow that team to get momentum and energy from their crowd. We can't allow them to go on 8-0 runs, 18-4 runs. We can't let them go on those 20-7 runs, right? What we need to do is make sure every point that they get is earned. Legit earned point. If they score 100 points, we should be like, okay, they got 15 from the free throw line and 85 points on the floor, but they earned every one of them, right? They earned every one of them. That's what we should be. That's our mindset. Make them work for everything that they get, right? And if that means dipping into the bench a little bit at times, then we may have to explore that. We may, because Mitchell Robinson is listed as a game time decision. We know Mitchell play, but we don't know how effective he'll be.
Or how long it'll be.
Right. So we may see one of or both of Jericho Sims and Precious Achua.
If I had to
we
choose,
may see one or the other. Right.
If I had to choose between the two, I'd go with the latter.
Right. Yeah, and no doubt.
Not efficient defensively.
Right.
You could, okay. Based off of that, if we're going to use Sims and Precious, just use Sims for his athleticism. Basically, same way we use Mitchell to get the boards and go back up. That's how you would use Sims. But if you're going to use Precious,
No. Sims, I'm using Jericho Sims in all the non-Joel Embiid minutes. Anytime I see Joel Embiid leaving the game, I'm bringing in Sims because I don't want him to do anything except give Hartenstein a break. Whatever Sims gives us is a plus. Is what I want. I think the winning formula is Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein on Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid goes to the bench, bring in the other guy, bring in those guys, your Sims or your
Precious.
Precious and those non-mix, because Paul Reed is not a 7-footer. Paul Reed is more like Precious Achua and Jericho Sims.
Yep.
Right. So and while Philly has the best 7-footer in this series, right? But we have two very good 7-footers. So instead of having our two 7-footers play against Paul Reed and waste energy and fouls and all that stuff on Paul Reed, we need to use that energy and concentration and game plan for Joel Embiid.
Agreed. And when he's off the court, if we got Precious, let it Precious attack. Because that relieves the pressure a lot more. Because when Bogues came off the bench in game one, you saw him hitting his shots. They started putting pressure on Bogues, allowing other people to score. So for me, I agree with that. But if you even remember the first game before Embiid got hurt, they were coming back from the lead. They were coming back. They had the energy in Madison Square Garden. Twice they had the lead. They came back, scored. They fought off our 5-point lead, came back like, what do you think they're going to do in Philly? So we have to hit them with a barrage. Like you said, I agree with Mitchell, Iheart on Embiid. When he's not on the court, use Precious and Sims, try to box out, get those rebounds, whatever they contribute is a lot better.
Agreed. But it's going to be difficult when you consider you got a raucous Philly crowd, a Wells Fargo Center hungry to hang a title banner for the first time since, I think, of any kind, I might want to point out, since 2010, when the Flyers made all the way to the Cup Finals and fell to the Blackhawks.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, you gotta wonder how this could affect the Knicks' mentality. I mean, sure, we swept both games in Philadelphia. One was a complete utter stomp, and the other they fought back, but we managed to hold on to that one. Philly isn't going down without a fight tonight. I'm not going to lie about that. And they're not going to go down this series without a fight. They want to make it competitive at any all costs. But New York has got to be on its... The Knicks have got to be on their toes tonight. You don't know if Mitch is going to be 100%. If he's not, you got to bring in Achua or Sims. I'm more worried if Thibodeau decides to go with a 7-man 7. And we all know that has screwed him over earlier this year. Granted, that was when the team was bloated with injuries, but he still went along with that plan, and it blew up in his face.
Right.
And I'm just I mean, it's bad enough that he's reduced the playoff roster from a 9-man rotation to an 8-man, in my view. But if he cuts it to 7 tonight because Mitch can't go, it's going to make things worse.
Right. I think that's where you're wrong at, Matt. You being petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. Because the thing is criticizing a coach that's up 2-0 in a game in a series. I don't know if the criticism is valid right there. Now, if that happens tonight, like what you mentioned, if that happens tonight, then I would say there's some validity to it. But when you're up 2-0 against a Philly team and you won, you did what you had to do at home, despite how it looked. I think you got to give them credit this time, right? Now, if the results were different, if it was a 1-1 series or if we were down 0-2, then I could understand your point and your reasoning. But the Knicks are the number 2 seed. They're up 2-0. Most other teams are probably in similar position. Well, no, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that because I think OKC won the other night. I think Denver is up in their series. The only team that I think Boston lost, and I think Milwaukee lost. But as far as the Knicks being up 2-0, I think we kind of legit have to give a little bit of credit to Tibbs for where we are, especially considering that Jalen Brunson hasn't shot the ball the very best.
Okay, fair enough.
And he still trusts Brunson. When Brunson called for the replay, he didn't even see it. He had his back to the whole court because he was yelling at someone on the bench. You got to keep it going. The 8-man rotation is working. Work with what you got. I just think that tonight Tibbs is gonna have to switch it up a little bit because what I see Philly doing, I think they're gonna try to do what we've been doing with the 8-man rotation, and the only time they're gonna take Embiid off is just the rest. I think Maxi's playing the whole game tonight. They're gonna go full dogs on us.
True.
See, but the thing is we're guesstimating.
Yeah.
Right. We're guesstimating, and we don't know exactly.
True.
So yeah. So I think we probably have to we have an idea on what we think Nick Nurse want to do. I think we know. Right. But the thing is in Philly, they had an unreasonable rest for a playoff series. We hadn't played since Monday, and it's Thursday, so we play again Thursday night.
Yes.
In a team that's probably, geographically, Philadelphia is not that far away from New York. That's a bus ride. Bus ride from the city.
What?
About
Hour and a
3.5
half,
hours.
Yeah,
Not 3.
3 hours. Yeah.
Because remember, you got to go through Jersey, that turnpike.
The turnpike, yeah.
Or you could go 1 and go out to Virginia and come down. Yeah, you could do it multiple ways. About 3.5.
But having 3 days off, right? But having 3 days off for in theory 3 days off. I'm saying Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because you play Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? So you get a full day Thursday and then play that night. And that might not be accurate, but it just seems that way that you don't play until that night, evening, whatever. Yeah, I would say the Philly will be ready, but while Philly is resting, you know who else is resting? The Knicks. So we have guys like OG Anunoby that's trying to recover. We have guys like Mitchell Robinson that's trying to recover. And so, it's one of those things that I think rest may seem like it benefit Philly, but it may be benefiting both teams.
Great. I think that it's gonna be a good game. I just want to see it tonight, man. This anxiety of mine that I get as a New Yorker is building up.
Drake's only one. I mean, I was born in New York. I've been living down south for 25 years.
You got the good genes. You got to live in New York, and then you kind of died out with that craziness. Because right now, I'm looking at every game. Like game 1, I was throwing everything out the window. Last game,
I've still got some of the crazy.
Last game though, that 2 minutes. I mean, that last 30-second stretch or whatever you want to call it, we cannot do that again. That was just pure sheer luck. We got to be up like we were early. Let them think they're winning and just keep going. I can't. For me, we need to actually see what this team really is without Brunson being 100% as far as shooting. We know he's awesome, but in game 3, if he actually does another, let's say, 25-point game, and they still win, that shows that the next round we have some serious firepower. And I think that we need to elaborate on that as basically fans. The way Tibbs has been coaching, the way everybody's been stepping up, I believe in this team to win tonight. But it's in Philly. Even though it's like a half an hour out, you got to look at it like we're going to go to a barbecue and our younger brother is snitching to our mom every time we try to do something.
I mean, seriously. I mean, tonight, we need to turn the 76ers in the 1776 style cheesesteaks.
Facts.
Yeah.
I've never had a genuine Philly. I've never been to Philly or had a genuine cheesesteak.
They are. Maybe that's one of those things we can look at doing down the road, man. Philly, man, salute the city of Philadelphia, salute y'all. Now I can't root for the Phillies or the Sixers or the Eagles or the Flyers. No, I can't do that. Right? That's forbidden. But shout out to all my people in Philly, all my man Tony, salute to all the Ruffins in Philly, and everybody in Philly, all my brothers in Philly, all my frat brothers in Philadelphia. Y'all know who y'all You know, much love to Philly. They take care of me when I get there, man. Salute to all those guys. But nah, man. In terms of rooting for a team from Philly or being compassionate or feeling sorry for a team from Philly, no, it's against the rules, bro. I don't make the rules. I just go by them, right? I don't make the rules. I just don't break them, right? I can't root for Philly.
We can
right?
we can be compassionate in a mocking sense because the Eagles got Kenny Pickett in a trade with Pittsburgh, and we know Kenny's not going to get used. And even when Hurts does go down to an injury, I'm just going to be laughing my head off, ready to do the South Park joke whenever Kenny gets on the field.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, so what? They played in Villanova and they played in Philly. Doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. They playing right now in a different atmosphere where they were home then. Now they're away team. Don't look at it as, oh, this is a home court advantage for them because they played in Villanova together. It ain't that.
Yeah. I think tonight in order to move the conversation forward, what I'm going to predict tonight is a Knicks comfortable win. I'm not going to say blowout. I'm going to say a comfortable win, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 110 to 99, something like that, where there is a level of intrigue, where I think we'll win comfortable enough for us to be able to take a deep breath, but not so comfortable where you can go cook dinner or you can play a video game and have the game on in the background. I don't think it'll be that comfortable. I think we're going to be legit basically what's going to happen, in my opinion, a wave is coming, right? So even if it's an initial wave or if it's a momentous wave in the game, I think a wave is coming. A tidal wave from Philly is coming. But the thing about it is again, Joel Embiid on that knee, doesn't matter how much adrenaline or momentum or all that stuff goes, at some point that shot in Joel Embiid's knee is going to wear off and he's going to disappear down the stretch. And they're going to have to depend on Tyrese Maxey to knock down shots. And is Tyrese... The thing is, here's the question in this series, right? Chat, this is my question to you guys. And this is the question that you guys need to ask yourselves too. Is Tyrese Maxey a generational franchise carrying type player? Right? And if you don't think that he is, Philly loses. If you think Tyrese Maxey is on that next wave of great NBA players that's going to be someone, right, for the next 10 or so years, then you think Philly has a chance. Now, in my opinion, I think Tyrese Maxey is a guy that can help carry a franchise, but he's not Steph Curry, right? I think Tyrese Maxey is a guy that can help carry a franchise, but he's not LeBron James. He's not Giannis. He's not Jokic. I think Tyrese Maxey is in that category of maybe a Devin Booker, where he can help carry a franchise, but he needs help, right? He needs help to carry a franchise. And with Joel Embiid, you know he'll get the help in the first half, but will he get that help in the second half of game 3? Right? What Philly will want to do is get up by a huge lead with Joel Embiid early so that and try to hold on to the game as the Knicks try to come back. And if you're the Knicks, what I think you should do is build that big lead in the first half, get up by 10, 12, 15, 20, and make Joel Embiid fight uphill on that injured leg and have Tyrese Maxey try to carry and disproportionate amount of the load in order to help them win. And that is what helps us win, because Tyrese Maxey, in my mind, is not that guy. For instance, I don't think Tyrese Maxey is in that Mark Messier category, right? I don't think Tyrese Maxey is in that Mike Piazza category. I don't think Tyrese Maxey is in that
Brian Leach category.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't gonna say Brian. I wasn't gonna say Brian Leach. I was gonna say something more along the lines of Patrick Ewing, right? Because Brian Leach played with great players. He didn't have to carry the load. Him and Mike Gardner and Adam Graves and others were there with Mark Messier. Where Mark Messier was carrying the load. But my thing is with Tyrese Maxey, I think the potential is there, but I don't think he's there yet. Now, will he be there next year? That's the conversation we can have next year, right? Is he there right now? I think he's super talented, but I don't think he is a franchise carrying NBA player. Now, can he prove me wrong tonight? Absolutely.
Yeah, perhaps.
I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again at some point.
I was gonna say real quick on the Maxey. You remember last year they were talking about him being 6th man of the year, and they gave him the keys. Now he's most improved. Last time I seen a most improved go from most improved to actually MVP was Shea. So now he's in that. We could actually help him become that guy. That's the top tier guy, like a Devin Booker, like you mentioned, or we can shut his dreams down. That's what I see. So for me, I think Maxey's on that level above Booker. Not like a Tatum, but he's up there with Booker. He's up there with the Shays, the young and up-and-comers, because he's been – look at what he did last game. He knows when to contribute. He's explosive. He gets to the foul line. He has that potential. That's where I think we're in trouble. If Maxey goes off with Embiid, we're in trouble.
But he does have a bit of an issue. He does have some injury history. I mean, sophomore year, he missed about a quarter of Philly's games like that in 21-22. Sure, he didn't miss as many this year or last, but still, he's got to watch himself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, ultimately, as a Knicks fan, I'm not confident that Tyrese Maxey can carry a playoff franchise by themselves against a team as good as the Knicks. And I'm not just saying the Knicks. I'm talking about any top-seeded team in the NBA. I don't think Tyrese Maxey by himself can carry a team by himself against whoever is a top seed, whether it's Boston, New York, Denver, OKC, Minnesota, the Clippers, whoever's a top seed in the NBA. I don't think Maxey's at that point. Will he get there? Of course, I think the potential is there.
It's going to take more time.
Yeah, just like most things. Just like most things. Most things need time to grow.
But then again,
most things need time to get better.
But when you think about it, these are also two teams that have been starving to get that O'Brien trophy. Knicks, self-explanatory, haven't won since 73, haven't been to the finals since 99. Sixers haven't won it since, I believe, 83, and haven't been back since 01.
Right. Yeah. It's just a part of it. It's just a part of it. So really quickly, guys, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to add to the conversation about tonight? Like a must-have, a must-do, a must-see? Max, we can't see your face, bro.
I'm sorry.
A must-see? Go ahead, Max.
Go ahead, Max.
Can do everything you can to keep Maxey, to force the issue again like last night. Force Embiid and Maxey to carry the load. If the role players get involved, it's going to be too balanced of an attack, and the Knicks won't be able to stop it, in my view.
Can you elaborate on that first point? Like, how do we get to that point?
Basically, we just box out and contain everyone else. Make sure Harris gets bad shots. Ensure that Lowry doesn't get too heavily involved. Same thing with Oubre or Batum or any other of the role players. If they get involved, it's going to be basically a rehash of what we saw last night between Boston and Miami, where Miami just let Brown and Tam go off at the expense of everyone like KP, White, Hauser, Pritchard, or basically being left and so forth, getting left inert, while the Heat themselves led a completely balanced offensive attack.
Okay. So what do you suggest? Forcing them to be jump shooters or forcing the role players to be playmakers?
The latter.
Okay.
If you force them to be playmakers, it's going to be too much pressure on them.
That's an excellent point, bro. I didn't even consider. I think that's an excellent point that you made. What about you, Cowboy Bob?
I was actually going to go the other way. I was going to say, let Embiid and Maxey do their thing. Don't get into foul trouble with them two, but shut down the other team, the supporting cast. Because if you allow an Embiid and Maxey, let's say, okay, they go for 40 both. That's 80 points. But if we shut them down like how we played defense against the Nuggets when they had everyone said, oh, we poked them in the face, then Jokic in the face, and he couldn't see. Like if we play that style of how we were attacking and allowing Embiid to get his 40, allowing Maxey to get that 40, cut off the passing lanes, that's a turnover we can take to our advantage. Because when Maxey goes downhill and he sees he has the open shot, let him take it. Let's get those rebounds. No more second chance opportunities with them. And make sure I'd rather have Embiid as far away from the basket as possible. He wants to shoot threes, go ahead. Don't give him that spacing to attack. What I mean by letting Embiid do his thing, push him out, let him shoot the long ball like he is, even if he's on one leg. I don't care if he knocks down 10 of those. As long as he's not getting to the foul line or getting rebounds, that's our advantage.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming through, rocking with us.
Real quick.
So it was an excellent cover. Bobby, you had something you want to add?
Yeah, I just outside of the note, my cousin, he played for Mercer, number 13, Todd James. I'm wishing him luck tonight on the draft. Good luck, cuz. I hope you get it, man. This has been your dream for years.
Yeah, man. Salute, man. Salute, man. Hope everything goes well for everybody tonight. We'll definitely. I'm going to be watching the draft, but my allegiance right now in this moment is to the team that's actually on the court or on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll watch the draft. I hope that the executives of all these teams do well. But tonight, the Knicks are on the floor, so we're hoping for a dominant performance by the Knicks.
In your case,
go
Freezy,
New York, go New York, go.
In your case, Freezy, you better hope Chicago doesn't take the whiny brat as the top quarterback.
We'll see how things go, bro. All I care about is winning. I don't care as long as we win. Same thing for our Mets. And so the Mets are in San Francisco. Man, Lindor is looking like he's going to break out. So I'm hoping that yeah. So it's going to be a busy sports night. Thank y'all everybody for coming through and rocking with us. We are going to holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.